What's up, everyone? It's Chris Burns again from the Heart Center, a place of being, a place of love, a place of human evolution to reach full potentials. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about society and left-handers versus right-handers. Something very interesting is going on, something that I think we should start paying attention to. And if you're aware and you understand society and understand the big picture of things, and that mostly everything that you see is not how it is, you'll begin to understand, you start seeing patterns about how the media portrays stories, about how they overlap news stories, about how they change stories. You start to pick up on things, and your awareness will start to expand to the point where you start losing friends. You'll be like, geez, where'd everyone go? But you're just on a whole new wavelength, and you're learning information, and you're hearing things, and you're meditating, and you're becoming your true self, that most are not ready for that. So if that's happening to you, stay true and keep on going. I'm here with you. So having said that, left-handers and right-handers, this is one of those subtle things that happens all the time, that's going on right underneath our noses, that we have no idea, and we just think it's normal, or that this is how it's supposed to be, or it's always been like this. I believe 80 to 90% of the world population is right-handed, so that leaves about 10% left-handed. And if we know anything about the human anatomy, we understand that your right hand, whenever you're using your right hand to write, drink, whatever it is, drive a car, is actually being controlled by the left side of your brain. There's two hemispheres in the brain. We've been told, like, this is what the brain looks like. You have the right, and then you have the left. If you're using your left hand, the left side of your brain, if you're using your left hand, the right side of your brain is the one that's actually in process, the one that's actually working. So why is that important? Why does that matter? Well, it matters because there's balance in all things. In nature is always balancing itself out. The right side of your brain is actually the creative, more intuitive, more spiritual, more free-flowing part of you. The left side of your brain, which again is tapped into by using the right side of your body or your right hand, is actually the more rigid, more structured, more linear thinking part of you. The part of you that most everyone in the world uses dominantly. And I think that's saying something. I think that's very telling. Again, we understand that the left side of the brain is more masculine. The right side is more feminine, more creative, more free. And so if the majority of us are using our right hand, we're tapping into that rigid masculine energy more often than not. And so we're not really, the doorways for creativity and higher awareness are dwindled down to next to nothing, because we don't even give it a chance. And so my question is, has society been manipulated, and have we been conditioned into using our right hand and the left side of our brain so that we don't discover ourselves, and we're not more aware, and we're not more spiritual, and we don't open up different doors to the greater knowledge of all that is? I think that's a very important question, and I really think that's something we should think about. Left-handed people, there's a lot of artists who are left-handed, because they're, again, tapping into that creative energy, that free-flowing energy. A lot of musicians are left-handed. A lot of really good basketball players. Manu Ginobili from the San Antonio Spurs, I believe, is left-handed. Derek Fisher, the little point guard from the Lakers a few years back, was left-handed. And you notice something different about left-handed people. They are very, very intuitive and very in their mind. They're definitely tapping into a deeper part of themselves. And I'm not saying being left-handed is better than being right-handed, but I am saying that there's something to it. It's different. And there's a reason the majority of us use our right hand. How many of you watching this video are right-handed? I would say about 95% of you. And so I want to offer you this opportunity to pick up a pen and actually start writing left-handed. I did this about a year ago, and I had profound results. I can literally say my life literally has been changed since then. As I was writing with my left hand, the objective was to be true to myself. I didn't know why I was doing it, except for I knew that there was no limits. I know that my soul has no limits, so I said, why should my body have any limits? And so I started writing with my left hand, and this is, the first few sentences were something like, I'm writing this as a declaration of my breaking free of boundaries, of mental slavery, and telling myself I can't do something because I've been told I can't do something. When in truth, there's nothing we really can't do. I mean that. There's nothing you can't do. If you can think it, you can do it. And so this was a simple testament to myself. I started writing left-handed. And this is what happened. I actually, the first few pages, it was just like, this is just an experiment, this is a test, this is really cool. But as I started to write, and as I started to kind of let myself go and kind of be in the moment and feel the energy, something very extraordinary happened. I began to see myself as the observer. I saw my hand writing, but I wasn't in control of it. The thoughts were no longer my thoughts. There was no thoughts. I didn't know what the next letter was going to be. I didn't know what the next letter was going to be coming out of the pen. The next word, it wasn't there. I was just the witness to this, and I could almost feel a part of me that was, you call it my higher self, that was in communication, that took the front seat and kind of pushed my physical vessel aside and used it as a conduit for these messages. And it wasn't scary, but it was interesting to be in that mindset and honestly feel yourself as not yourself, or feel another version, a deeper version of yourself. And so I started writing, and I started channeling, I started getting messages, and I started writing faster and faster. This is all left-handed now. I have notebooks with left-handed writing in it. And the messages were coming through me, but they weren't Chris. Chris was just being used in that moment to send these messages. And I definitely tapped into something. I definitely reached a higher awareness, and there was a teaching going on, and there was a realization and a truth to what was being written. See, this is the great truth. Your physical body is just your physical body. There was an old movie called, I think, The Star Kid. It was like on Disney Channel, where the little kid finds this alien spacesuit that's like a symbiotic suit. It's like half organic life and half robot. But he actually climbs into the back of the suit, and he becomes one with the suit. And him and the suit join, and he basically becomes a superhero, through this suit. Now the suit has its own thoughts, it has its own way of being, it has its own, existence. But it was able to merge with this young boy. The young boy also had his own thoughts and his own existence, but when they came together, there was this life that they created, and they were able to join and become something and work together, simultaneously. And then every once in a while, the boy would actually jump out of the suit, and the suit would just kind of go off and do its own thing, but they were always able to join back up and reconnect, and they became one. And I truly feel like that's what this existence is that we have this fleshy armor, this fleshy material, this fleshy body, but that's not who we are. It's a part of us. It's not us, though. at any given time, we can actually step out of that and become, a part of Source, a part of this energetic field that connects us all. But while we're in this existence, this body is used to experience what the soul can't experience physically. And so the soul actually uses the vessel to fulfill its purpose and to evolve itself into higher states of being and higher states of consciousness. And so over time, people will put themselves in situations and circumstances and call themselves the victim. Unknowingly, they're actually teaching themselves and allowing their soul to evolve through these circumstances. You see, the person you're talking to, the person that's speaking to you right now, my name is Chris Burns. Yes, that's my name. But I have a level of awareness that allows me to understand that I am not my body, that I can use my body. My body can be used energetically to serve others and to be of service to you. And a lot of my writings come from that higher place, that deeper essence within me that is more than just Chris. And speaking of, my name, as I make my transition between, left-handed and right-handed people, again, tapping into the right side of the brain with the left hand, I would encourage you all to pick up the pen and start writing left-handed and see what happens. Before I talk about my name, I want to remind you, when you do this, fear is going to come up. You're going to feel weird. You're going to feel like, who is this? Why am I doing this? You're going to feel a presence. But I want you to just surrender to that, because that's you. You're going to be teaching yourself through you. So allow yourself to come through and put all the thoughts aside. Don't try to control the situation. Okay? Allow it to flow. Allow the energy to just flow freely through you. It knows more than you do. Consciously, you don't know a whole heck of a lot. You think you do. We think we do. But it's actually when we step outside of who we are as physical beings and delve into the spiritual realms and the inner knowledge and wisdom, that's when we actually get to know ourselves. And that's what I learned from writing left-handed. And so as you write, don't fight it. Breathe. Allow it to come through. Put aside your ego. Don't ask questions. Consciously do your best to just kind of be in the moment and feel what's going on. And I can coach you on this, and this is something I do want to bring to the Heart Center, is this technique of tapping into that more spiritual, open awareness version of ourselves. And so the left-handed writing is very powerful. And for those of you who already are left-handed, I would recommend maybe switching to the right hand. Or even if you do write left-handed, again, allow yourself to kind of step out of the way of yourself. Allow yourself to open up to that deeper feeling in you, that knowing. I call it a splinter in the mind. We all have it. We all have it. But we have to surrender to it and say, I trust you. Because you have to learn how to trust yourself. You have to learn how to love yourself and to just lay in the hands of God and in the hands of the universe and be okay with that. Because that is you. Trust yourself. So that's what I want you to do. Start writing left-handed. So moving on, I am very aware that I am Chris Burns in this physical existence. But before we were born, I think the Bible says, I knew you before you even had a name. And this is true. Before our parents named us, who were we? Who was I? What was I? Imagine if a baby's born and they just grow up on their own, with love, guidance, and support, of course, but without being told your name is such and such. You live here. This is what you do. This is your life. Without being constructed and manipulated. Do you know why everyone adores babies and children? It's because that's pure love incarnated. That's what it is. That's why kids are so imaginative, because they live in that spiritual bliss. That's where we all come from. And so they have the ability to tap into, I don't want to say tap into, because in order to tap into something, you have to be outside of it. They are it. When you look at a child's eyes, I don't care how old, you'll see it. You feel it. I know a mother feels it. As a father, I know I feel it. I have never felt love as much as I did looking into my daughter's eyes. And I can say that with every single ounce of love and being that I am. And these, these souls that are incarnating now as these children are coming straight from Source, and they are here to evolve us. The education system isn't set up for them. That's old news. That's why you got kids on all this Adderall, you know what I mean, and this Ritalin, and being diagnosed with ADD and ADHD. Let me tell you something. I was one of those kids, supposedly mentally challenged, ADD, ADHD, learning support. I was the kid who needed extra time to take tests. Yeah, that was me. There's nothing wrong with me. It's not us who are at fault here. It's the system itself. That same system, once you're born, wants to name you, wants to label you, wants to categorize you, wants to make you use your right hand so you don't tap in to that divine source that you are. And this is what we got to do, man. This is what the Heart Center is about. It's about taking. No, it's not about taking back. It's about being and allowing it to come through. That power, that love, that passion. That's what it's about. Not as individuals, but as a human species, as a human family. We're here for each other. It's not a secret. The best basketball team this past year in the NBA, or maybe it was 2 years ago, within the past 3 years, San Antonio Spurs. One of the oldest teams in the league, by far, with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili, the left-hander, by the way. All those guys, man, they're old. What are they doing? Being on these young teams. It's because they work together. They work together. They vibe off each other. Their energy is symbiotic. It's not, it's not restricted by anything. It flows. Their passing was absolutely amazing. If you watch the San Antonio Spurs game within the past few years, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I'm not big into the whole, what do you want to call it, the whole mainstream lifestyle, but I do pull awareness and valuable teaching lessons from it. And that team was amazing. And they passed the ball so crisply. And that's my point. Whenever you play 5 as 1, you become solid. But if you play as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals, there's holes, there's gaps. People are going to blow right through you. It's not until you literally come together, that you become a force. And so, if you're listening to this video now, I want you to find it within yourself to connect with those around you. I don't care if they're not spiritual. I don't care if they're Muslim or if they're Christian. It doesn't matter. You respect them. You treat them with love. Because sooner or later, we all are going to come to a higher awareness that this whole reality, in a sense, has been a big game. I understand that my day today was different than your day today, and that we're all living from our own level of perception and awareness based on the things that we've experienced prior. We all come in here with agendas, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being here on earth right here, right now. And knowing that we all do have these different agendas, but seeing the love, understanding that there's more to it. So you're not your body. You're not your job. You're not your car. You're not your relationship. But what you are is you. And that's good enough. That's more than good enough. That's extraordinary. Extraordinary. Not extraordinary. Extraordinary. So know that. Trust that. When you write with your left hand, trust yourself. Fall into yourself. Love yourself. There is so much to discuss, so much to cover. But you will not find 1 ounce of truth anywhere until you go to yourself first. If you're watching the news, watch it with an open mind. If you're watching TV, watch it with an open mind, with higher awareness. Television programs. Listen to the words now. I talk about how words are important. Television programs. Television programs. What does it program? Do you see what I'm saying here? We're so asleep and so manipulated. We hear, oh, it's a television program, and take it for something we do, it turns into a noun, a thing. It turns into a thing, but it's a verb. Television programs you. Okay? Tell it vision, tell lies to your vision. You watch TV, and if you're watching it and you're buying into all the emotions and all the drama and everything, you're not helping yourself. And you wonder why, you're feeling, at a low vibration. And I'm not saying don't watch TV. Hear me. I'm not saying don't watch TV. I like Animal Planet. I know. In all seriousness, if you're watching TV, watch it with an open mind. Okay? Understand that that stuff is all media. It's all propaganda. It's not there to make you feel better. Every single commercial, what's it based on? Buy this car, eat at this restaurant, drink this alcohol, buy this app to meet this hot guy or girl, go to this amusement park, shop at this grocery store, hire this lawyer. Oh, something just got recalled from the drug industry, and now this drug actually is being recalled because it killed a whole bunch of people. All those little infomercials and all that. Think about it. Just think. Just take a moment. Just think. We have thoughts, but we don't think. I'm going to say it again. Human beings have thoughts, but we don't think. We react to the stimuli that we see. And I think that's amazing when you really think about it, how easily we have been trapped into this thing and kind of, given this playground to play in. And this reality is nice, it's fun. But if you're doing it for the right reasons and you understand it, you're not getting caught in it, and you're not staying stuck in that low vibration and those negative emotions, heck yeah, it's a good time. But if you're watching Lifetime TV and you're watching a show, a movie where a wife cheats on her husband, then he kills her, or she kills him, and then someone steals the kid, and there's this third party who they don't know who it is, and then the cop gets in there who actually was having an affair with the wife. Man, I can't handle that. But you see, those things are put in front of us, and then we take it in. As human beings, we are emotional beings, so we buy into the emotions. We bring it into our hearts, and we put it into the center of our hearts, and then it goes into our minds, and then it comes out of our mouth, and we go back to the TV, we watch another movie like that, and it goes back into our hearts, and the same pattern continues. You see what I'm saying? You are what you think about. You are what you experience in your reality, in your own personal reality. You could watch TV and be watching Animal Planet and see the beautiful animals and see the beautiful landscape that Gaia is, that Mother Nature is. And that can be your meditation. You know what I mean? But if you're just sitting there because you have nothing else to do and you're just like completely brain dead, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying everything you should do should be a self-reflection of who you are and who you're striving to be. Every word, every action you take it with intent, with purpose, with value. And so that's what I'm trying to say here is I'm not against TV, I'm not against the news, because there is this balance. So you got to have, that wacky news and that media garbage. But if you're watching that stuff and you're allowing your emotions to get caught up in that, and you're feeding into that left hemisphere of your brain, and that linear thinking and that rigid mindset, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're not going to be happy. You see, this reality is ran on fear. This reality is set up by other beings and by individuals more powerful than myself, more powerful than you will ever know. And they don't want people like me talking about things like this to beautiful souls like you, because this is what's going to cause them to get out of power and cause us to live peacefully without the fear. And they don't want that. They feed off of the fear. They need that. Why is it that you think 90% of human beings are right-handed? Why is it that when you turn on the TV, when you watch the news, you hear so-and-so got shot, so-and-so was raped, so-and-so stole from this store, this apartment building burned down? Oh, and by the way, there was a cute little puppy who was saved by a police officer at the very end of the news broadcast, just to keep you somewhat happy, just like give you this much of hope, keep you tied in, keep you hooked in there. You think that the media is out there and the news is out there to feed you information? You call that information? That's not information. That's energy being thrown at you to keep you afraid and scared and worried, so you can't live peacefully. That's what it is. I'm being real right now. I haven't watched TV in years. I watch movies. I pick and choose what movies I watch. And if I do watch a TV show at a friend's house, I'm watching it from this side, not these two, but this one, and transferring my energy from here. That's how I'm watching it. I'm not watching it as entertainment anymore. My life isn't about entertainment. My life is about evolution and love and the progressiveness of the human species. It's about the higher awareness of myself. It's about my daughter and her well-being. I'm here as a messenger to bring you from fear to love. That's what I do. This is who I am. And so my point is, don't get it twisted. Don't fool yourselves into thinking you're being given information, so you got to watch the news. So in case, man, have the things that they tell you on the news. Is it happening to you? No, it's not happening to you. It's happening over in some part of the country that you've never even heard of before. All these, fake wars and all this stuff. Your reality is what you set it up to be. So yeah, if you're living a life of fear, you will experience that. You will draw that to you. If you're afraid of everything because you saw in the news some guy attacked this woman, or this woman, robbed a store, or, did something to her child, if that's the kind of energy you're constantly feeding yourselves and constantly allowing to permeate your being, you are going to draw those things to you. You will experience that stuff because that's your reality. But if you can watch those things and have a higher awareness to it and give love through it, you may not experience it. But you're only going to draw to you the level of energy that you're at. See, we all vibrate at a certain frequency. We all emit a certain energy. And so, me talking to you right now, I know you feel it. There's no way you can't feel it. You see what I mean? And so, my intent is pure. My heart is strong. My soul is here expressing itself through me to you. And so this energy is going to raise your vibrations. And the more you listen to people, the more you talk, the more you trust yourself, you will begin to raise your vibrations too. You eat healthy. I'm saying it again, you eat healthy. You fuel your vessel. Food can raise your vibration too, just like it can lower it. Keller, wear bright shirts. I have nothing against the dark, as you know. If you've read any of my posts on Facebook or any other social media, I have nothing against the dark. But what I am saying is that you vibrate, you draw that energy to you, that bright energy to you. And then the dark is there whenever you need to use it correctly. Start raising your vibration. Why is it important to raise your vibration? Why is it important to raise your frequency? Don't you want to be happy? Don't you want to feel love? Don't you want to live a life of abundance? That's why. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of seeing people down and out. You know, walking into the stores, there's nothing to eat anymore, man. That stuff it's not food. The healthcare system is preying off of this. It's not food. I might as well, man, I got myself some organic wheat thins here. But I was going to say I might as well eat this plastic bag. Because that's what they're putting in our food. And you eat that. You're turning yourself into a garbage dump. That's why you feel sick. You don't feel sick because you have a disease. Disease is broken down to dis-ease. Hence discomfort. You're at dis-ease. So you have a disease. Because you're not feeding yourself right. You're not giving your soul nourishment. You have fallen into the trap of the senses. See, I don't believe in sin. I believe in sensations and becoming slave to those sensations. If you're a guy and you're watching porn all the time and you're, going out and doing all these things with all these different women all the time, I had my fair share of encounters with females, whenever I was in school. I'm not perfect. I'm not here to say Chris has never had sex or done these things. But I'm saying I am more aware now, and I've come full circle, and I see it for what it is. I fell into the trap of the sensations. I'm not a drinker. I don't smoke. But other ways, you know what I mean? Even with these eyes, not seeing the beauty that was around me, but seeing the beauty that I lusted over and that I wanted, you know what I mean? That can be called a sin, falling into the sensations, not using your spiritual gifts and your spiritual vessel correctly. If you're a woman wearing all this makeup, trying to make yourself look good, there's nothing wrong with makeup. It's your intention behind it. Are you wearing the makeup because you want to look good? Or are you confident without the makeup and you know that you just radiate this energy because you're eating healthy, you're taking care of yourself. You don't got to be thin, but you love yourself, and so that's what people feed off of, and that's what they vibe off of. So you don't need the makeup. You might throw in the makeup to be, just to look different, just for fun. You like makeup, cool, go for it. But don't use it as a mask, ladies. Don't use it as a cover-up to hide yourself. Listen, the reason you can't find love is because you're looking for it in him. It's in you. He's only going to share that with you. The sensation of feeling dizzy, alcohol. Yeah, you can tell me people have, alcohol disease and they're alcoholics. That's also a spiritual problem. Everything, the invisible creates the visible. So there's something, behind all that that is then manifesting physically. You see what I mean? The invisible creates the visible. And so what I'm saying here is, don't buy into the sensations. Enjoy the sensations. Have sex, but only have sex with someone you can see yourself becoming. Don't have sex with someone just because you're horny and you want to, get off and you want to feel good. There's nothing wrong with that, but what I'm saying is there's more to it than that. There is a very profound and powerful feeling and energy involved with sex. And so whenever you encounter a man or a woman, what you are to do is to use who you are and express yourself fully in a loving manner, and allow the energy to dance with each other, to intertwine and mingle with each other. Even if it's just a hookup, man. Hook up, but hook up with higher purpose and intent and love and respect. Hook up with respect for yourself and for them. Our women in this society are they're so hard on themselves, man. And I love you all. I'm telling you right now, all you ladies out there, you have my sincerest love and blessings. And all my fellas out there too. And I mean this dearly. Because as much as it is your fault, it isn't your fault. Because this is all you see. This is all you see in the news. This is all you see in the magazines. You got to have a thin waist and a cute face. And, all these other things. Men, you got to, have the 8-pack, and you got to be built and jacked and have a beard. And no, you don't. Again, that's the media preying on that physical vessel that we all embody, and completely ripping us away from our true divine self. Your true divine self. You are beautiful. You are love. You are light. You are dark. You are peace. You are the universe itself. You are a part of God, incarnated, manifested physically, here to experience itself through itself. That's who you are. When I started this, I said you're not your car, you're not your job, you're not your relationship, you're not your phone, you're not even your body. Start tapping into that right side of your brain. Start tapping into that deeper knowledge within yourself. Start loving yourself for who you are. And truly begin to do your own research. I don't know why I'm filming this right now, but I really feel called to tell you how important it is that you do your own research, that you go out in nature, that you listen to your intuition, that when you speak with love and integrity, that when you listen, you hear, and that when you look, you see. It's time to stop going through the motions as human beings. It's time to wake up. It's time to realize your divinity. It's time to stop falling into the traps of this society and the manipulations. It's time to start loving each other from the center of our hearts. It's time we go from this to this. I'm here for you. I always have been. And I always will. I love you all. And my days here will be complete once you're complete. I'm here to move you, assist you, and guide you, and shake up your world so you can shake up theirs. And in turn, you can bring ours back together through peace, love, honesty, tranquility, dark emotions, sadness, pain, joy, all of it, man. I don't want just the good stuff. I want the honesty that comes with the bad stuff too. I am striving to see this human species evolve to its next evolution. Because we can do it. We're close. We're right there. We got to do this together, though. We can't do it alone. I hope you heard my message tonight. This has been a message of love, and it will always be a message of love. This has been a message to invite you to dig deeper within yourself, to wake up, to trust yourself, to turn off your TV, and turn on your mind, to question authority, to say you've had enough, that you deserve better, and that you will do whatever you need to do to get it, that you're tired and sick of the lies, of your kids going to school stressed out, moms, dads, coming home, yelling and screaming, crying, because they had to take a test. They didn't learn anything, but they had to take a test. And to all you kids out there, keep fighting, man. Keep going for it. Keep questioning those teachers. Because you know, you are the ancient elders from the past who have come back to teach us. Age does not define maturity. Wisdom is not measured in years, it's measured in experience life takes you through. So, all you teenagers out there, if you're going to rebel, do it correctly. Don't run around and throw things across the street and flip over cars. Rebel by doing your research, going to the library, and reading a book. And teaching yourself. Rebel by using the World Wide Web as your most deadliest weapon. And doing your research. And gaining knowledge and wisdom. People say knowledge is power. No. I can know everything there is to know. But if I'm not applying it, it means nothing. It's one thing to say you're going to do something, think it. But until you step up and go do it, no. That's just a thought. A thought can't manifest without kinetic energy. It's got to have something in motion. So let's set this thing in motion, man. There's no revolution without love. Try it. You try to spell revolution without love. Let me know how that goes. It's not about the fighting and the proving who's right or wrong. It's not about religion. It's about simply taking back our God-ordained rights to this earth and living in peace and unity with each other and understanding the deep sadness and emotions that come along with that, but not having judgment towards it. So you teenagers out there, man, you keep rebelling, but do it the correct way. Do it with right thought. Don't yell and scream. You don't need to yell and scream. Your voice will be heard when it's time. You do need to educate yourself. You do need to become aware and step up. And to the adults out here, listen to them. Listen to the kids. The future is in the hands of the youth. If we want a brighter tomorrow, we have to start with the stars of today. That is our youth. Listen to them. They're crying for you. They're crying for truth. They don't want the medications anymore. It's not working. They want to go outside and think and talk about aliens. They want to talk about how to bake a cake. They want to play. They want to laugh. They want to create. They want to be seen. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmas, grandparents, nieces, nephews. We're all a family. It's time we start acting like it. Blood doesn't mean family. Family is the people you find along the way in your path. So I got to bring this video to an end, unfortunately, but you know I'll be back. Every time a little bit stronger, a little bit better, a little wiser. My message is for you. This is Chris Burns from the Heart Center. Namaste. It's time to wake up and get this thing leaning and rocking. Thank you. I'll talk to y'all soon.